Today I'm here with Lesley Livingston, the author of Starling. Lesley, could you please tell us a bit about your book?
Of course I can, Kat. This is Starling. It is the first book in my brand new trilogy, the Starling trilogy, strangely enough. And it is set again in New York City, as my Wonder Strange books are. But you don't have to read those ones first. It is kind of spin-offy, where I take one character and sort of send them off on their own adventure. The book is about Mason Starling, who is a 17-year-old student at Gosforth High, which is an exclusive Upper West Side Academy in New York City, and she's a fencer. She's the champion on the fencing club, and she wants to basically make a career out of that. She's kind of bucking for the Olympics, but she's at practice one night, and all of a sudden a catastrophic storm rips through New York City, and I swear I wrote this a year ago, and sorry, New York. I feel your pain terribly. But she's trapped inside the gymnasium with some of the other fencing club members, and not only does the storm bring lightning and thunder and a giant oak tree crashing through the roof, it also brings Draugr, which are storm zombies. They are creatures out of Norse mythology, because in fact what Mason doesn't know is that her family is kind of hooked into the Norse mythological community, and she's suddenly faced with the very real possibility that she may actually bring about the end of the world. Fortunately, the storm also brings a handsome young man by the name of the Fenris Wolf with it, and he and Mason together have to figure out how to stop the coming apocalypse and also restore his memory, because he has no idea who he is, and figure out how to get them out of this terrible mythological mess.
Hey, my first question for you is, what made you want to be a writer?
What made me want to be a writer? Well, when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be an actor. And in fact, I am, so I was right in that. But as I was actually going through and becoming an actor and developing my acting career, I think I realized somewhere down the road, because I was always scribbling stories and always having conversations with imaginary people who lived in my head and writing them down on paper, I think I decided that I wasn't just an actor, I really wanted to be a storyteller. Which is, you know, when you're an actor, you're telling other people's stories. And that's really great. But at some point, I really did decide that I wanted to tell my own stories. So I started taking all those things that I'd written down and started to actually develop them into actual books. And then when I finished my first novel, I realized, yeah, I really did want to be a writer.
We've heard a bit about why you wanted to be a writer. Could you tell us a bit about what has inspired your current story?
What has inspired my current story? Well, I'm here on the apocalyptic tour with this particular story, which is Starling. This is actually set in the same universe as my Wonder Strange books, although you don't have to read the Wonder Strange books first. You can just start with this one. Basically, what I wanted to do with this book is there's a character from the Wonder Strange books who, after that story was done, really just wouldn't shut up in my head.
I love that.
I love that too. Especially late at night when you're trying to get some sleep and you're like,
3 a.m.
It's 3 o'clock, Fenris, please be quiet, except, you know, not so much.
He won't.
So Fenris really wanted me to tell his story, but I had to take him on another adventure completely in order to do that. And so it also became the story of Mason Starling, who's this lovely young lady on the cover that you see there. And that's how I actually wound up coming up with the story of Mason and Fenris and their adventure in the world, which wound up dealing with a lot of things that I'm actually personally interested in, which is Norse mythology and Greek and Egyptian mythology and more New York City, end of the world, apocalyptic scenario, possibly, you know, a little bit of Ragnarok.
Yeah, there isn't enough Egyptian or Norse in YA, so that's very refreshing.
Thank you. I thought so.
Hey, next question is, writers need to be readers. Could you tell us a book that you recommend?
Ooh, yes, I absolutely can. Now, it's not out yet, but it will be out very soon, and I've had the absolute pleasure of reading it beforehand. I think it comes out in December, but it's Adrian Kress's The Friday Society, and it's described as steampunk Charlie's Angels without the Charlie.
Sounds like fun.
Fantastic book. Oh, it's great fun. It really is. Adrian's got a really, really fun, refreshing, awesome voice. I highly recommend it.
Hey, time for the fun question. How would you survive the apocalypse?
How would I survive the apocalypse? No.
There's 5 of us are authors from Ontario, and we're all signing our books today.
I'm gonna hide under a pile of coats.
Definitely
work,
original.
Right? Okay. I'm going to train my 3 cats to be my army of darkness. No, I'm
Samurai pizza cats?
sure. Does that work? Will they give me pizza and defend me with samurai swords?
Apparently
Guess I'll
so.
do that. Or possibly, I will simply find a mystical object with which to protect myself and a handsome, used to be a Norse warrior prince to watch my back. How's that?
That sounds like the best plan I've heard all day.
I think that sounds like a pretty good plan too.
Yeah, especially the warrior prince.
Yeah.
Our last question, which is, what are you working on now?
What am I working on now? Well, let me see. I just finished doing copy edits on Every Never After, which is my second book in the Never series. It comes after Once Every Never, for those of you who've read it. It's my time travel first century snarky teen fun book. I just had my second Starling book go to copy edits. And in the meantime, I am now working on co-writing a middle grade book with Jonathan Lear, and it's in a series called The Wiggins Weird, and the first book is called How to Curse in Hieroglyphics. And it's about two 12-year-old girls named Cheryl and Tweed who were raised by their grandfather in a tumble-down, middle-of-nowhere drive-in movie theater, so they filter all of their experiences through the lens of monster movies. And when the real monster comes to town, they have to save the town.
That sounds fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, Kat.
Yep.